This is Defenders Volume 1, Issue 16, and it holds the answer to the question, why isn't Magneto a wheelchair-bound, century-old citizen, or, in the worst-case scenario, pushing up daisies? Welcome to the Review Desk. I'm Desmond Kerk, and today we'll see how Magneto stayed young in the comics. The MCU is prepping to fully introduce the concept of mutants, which of course means X-Men. And where there's X-Men, there's Max Eisenhart, aka Eric Lehnsherr, aka Magneto. But introducing the Master of Magnetism to the films has one huge obstacle. He would be too old. There are two ways the comics have dealt with this, one implicit and one explicit. The floating timeline. In many forms of fiction, including comic books, there is a plot device called the floating timeline or sliding timescale. This mechanic is used to explain why characters age very little, if at all, despite their later stories reflecting new technology or recent events. You could read a 1962 story about Spider-Man where he's 15, and a 2001 story where Peter has just recently graduated college. Outside of comics, a famous example is The Simpsons. The characters have not aged at all, despite the fact that the show has been on for 32 years. The floating timeline also explains why Magneto, a man who was but a child during World War II, now still has the appearance of a middle-aged man in the comics. Unfortunately, this is tricky to pull off in the films for the following reason. The MCU for the most part uses the opposite of a floating timeline, which is a fixed timeline with actual dates. The first Guardians of the Galaxy film takes place in 2014, the same year of that film's release, and the second one is set in 2017. Avengers Infinity War is set in 2018, and Avengers Endgame takes place 5 years later in 2023. We know that Magneto's abilities, as with most mutants, manifested during puberty. In the comics, this has been established to be shortly after Kristallnacht, the night of November 9th to November 10th, 1938, when paramilitary factions of the Nazi Party destroyed glass windows of Jewish-owned properties, including stores and synagogues. Assuming Magneto would be approximately 12 years old at this point, we can surmise he was born in 1925. To depict Magneto as a Holocaust survivor with most of his history intact, he would need to be 100 years old at the time of Captain America: Brave New World. But there's a more direct way the comics deal with Magneto's age, which brings us back to Defenders issue 16. In this issue, Magneto's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants face off against the titular team of heroes. Magneto discovers highly advanced technology of a lost civilization deep underground in New Mexico. He uses this tech to engineer Alpha, the ultimate mutant, an artificial being that can constantly adapt, developing higher intelligence and progressively enhanced abilities the more it used its powers. Magneto tricks Alpha into thinking he and his Brotherhood are the good guys, and the Defenders are evil, giving the heroes a pretty tough fight, even the Hulk. Eventually, Alpha uses its powers so many times that it learns to scan thoughts, which it then uses to read the minds of everyone present, and gets wise to Magneto's scam. Enraged, Alpha leaves, but not before he turns the entire Brotherhood, including Magneto, into infants. Baby Magnus is then put in the care of Dr. Moira McTaggart, because even when a woman's got a PhD, they make her take care of the kids. Dr. McTaggart studies baby Magneto until Shi'ar agent Eric the Red frees him and reverts him back to adulthood. But here's the twist. Eric doesn't restore Magneto back to his former age, but to his physical prime so that he can enlist Magneto's help to destroy the X-Men. This happened in the 70s. Even without the sliding time scale, it would shave off a good 30 years of Magneto's 100 years. Many people in their 70s are still very physically fit. Actor J.K. Simmons turned 70 this year, and he's got guns that could carry an entire franchise. So that's how Magneto stayed much younger in the comics. It's a little too convoluted for the movies, but tune in next time as we discuss simple ways the movies could keep him a plausible Holocaust survivor. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.